How did this candy save thousands of Marines? I know it sounds ridiculous, because it is, but this really happened. Let me set the scene. The Second World War has ended. Korea has been liberated from the Japanese forces, but it's just not quite the same. Korea, instead of being whole, was split across the 38th parallel, with the communist forces in the north and nationalists in the south. And we all know how those two get along. Following, border skirmishes would take place along the parallel, and on the 25th of June 1950, the better armed North Korean forces would invade the south. Within the next couple weeks, Seoul would fall, and by August, push them back, nearly taking the whole of Korea. With now the combined South Korean, US, and UN forming a defensive line around the port city Pusan, now known as Busan, giving the name the Pusan Perimeter, this is where the tides turn. With the Incheon landing on the 15th and the recapture of Seoul, this would light the fire of a new 3-month-long campaign to push the North Koreans back, making steady progress, meeting less and less resistance, not knowing the trap that was about to unfold. It's late October, the joint South Korean and American forces are still making good progress. But due to an overseen event, Chinese volunteer army would cross the Yalu River, around 260,000 much-needed troops, an overseen event of both Douglas MacArthur and the Harry Truman's administration, believing Chairman Mao Zedong would not act without Soviet approval. The Southerners, continuing their push forward, advances would slow. On the eastern column, American troops would reach Lake Chongjin, also known as the Chosin Reservoir. Pushes would stall across the front. Supply lines would run thin, freezing temperatures, bad road conditions, overextended troops, and mountainous conditions would cause logistics to become complicated and less achievable. All of this would accumulate into the deadliest battle of the Korean War. Now this is where our story begins. It's late November. Americans have dug in, creating a base of operations on the south and west of Lake Chongjin. By the 27th, Chinese forces would creep up into positions surrounding American forces on the western and eastern parts of the lake, outnumbering forces on average 2-1, with temperatures dropping as low as negative 38 degrees Celsius or negative 36 degrees Fahrenheit. They would begin their attack in the night, fighting all night into the dawn, with both sides suffering high casualties, with sections of the Americans finding themselves completely surrounded. In the west, in Udamni, in the south at Haegaruri, fighting's fierce. In Udamni, American forces would radio for 60mm mortar rounds, under the codename Tootsie Rolls. The radio operator receiving this message would miscommunicate this due to him not having a code sheet. The radio operator, sensing the urgency of this message, would actually send Tootsie Rolls. This somehow being a blessing in disguise, not only giving the soldiers sustenance, but also using them to plug and fix damaged equipment, like vehicle fuel lines, radios, and bullet holes, etc., due to the candy's ability to mold them almost like an epoxy before freezing. Breaking out of Udamni, soldiers would regroup in Haegaruri, pausing before making another break south again to Kodori. This is often referred to as the greatest escape in U.S. military history. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Casualty rates were high, with many losing their lives, not only from the fighting, but also frostbite as well. Many injured soldiers were able to be evacuated via plane in Haegaruri due to the amazing achievement of a plane strip being built under heavy fire, while more capable men would finish the breakout, taking as much equipment with them and destroying what was left. Many veterans from this battle would go on to describe this event as frozen hell. This story, however, lacks historical evidence due to it not really being documented. Although the battle did take place, the candy story is disputed. Yet still veterans would go on to interviews after swearing by the Tootsie Roll story, with some even saying it was the only thing we ate for 3 weeks, and some even going to say if it wasn't for the Tootsie Rolls we wouldn't have made it. Although the story is kind of funny how candy saved all these people, to say their escape was solely built on candy would be a lie of me to say. I've left out many key events of this escape for the sake of telling the candy story. So much planning, maneuverability, and sacrifice went into the escape of these people. These were real people that really did live and pass, had families, someone's son, someone's dad, someone's brother. It's sad to say that the Korean War is often referred to as the Forgotten War, despite its profound effect on modern day history. Thank you guys all for watching. If you like this video or want to see a more in-depth video on this event or the Korean War, just let me know. Even any suggestions on what you'd like to see next from me. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and thank you all for watching.